Hey guys, this is a short snippet before we'll probably do this before we'll put this little clip before every episode. But we're gonna play a game before we start the video. And every time throughout the video, can you spot how many things happen in videos? How many faces Mr. Fan can make and positions, and how many little weird things can you find on my head? Either they'll be digital or IRL. How many weird things can you spot? Bye. Thanks for watching. And keep a lookout on where you can find this. It'll be fun, you know? So make sure you're paying close attention, because anything can happen. Like this. Make sure you keep watch, because it'll randomly happen. You'll be like, whoa, what? And I'll ask you at the end of the video, what thing did I do at what point in the video? Bye! Welcome to the controversial table. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about something a little serious. And it's something we don't normally talk about. And it's something really serious. My co-host is making me laugh. I'm gonna stop. Today we're going to talk about religion, hence the theme change. We're going to talk about religion today. Religion is an aspect that me and Mr. William try to follow with our language choice and how we live our life. So we're going to talk about our experience in finding the Lord, and join us. Now, let's start with Mr. Fan. Mr. Fan, you go first about your experience with finding
the JC. So when my experiences with finding Jesus or heaven or other acronyms referring to the man above started at a very young age. I've seen heaven momentarily, where I momentarily died at the age of 2. I've seen my life flash before my eyes more than once. Religion and finding finding Jesus wasn't so much a calling, it was to, I don't want to say reinvigorate, but it was to it was to find purpose in life. And I've dealt with experiences that most people would say, oh, they're not as traumatic. No, they are. Any person who you go to Jesus to cleanse yourself. Am I saying that right, Ms. Valiant?
Not entirely.
You look for purpose, and you look for hope. You look for salvation. You look for love at times. You look on how to better your life. Where think of, I said this to Ms. Valiant, when you look at the Bible, you look for teachings and how there are certain verses in the Bible that preach love and unity and family, uh, commitment, and then there's greed, there's lust, there's conflict. There's the Bible truly is a book of teaching, and it's in my own experience. I've went to the book for wisdom that my parents could not provide. I go to the book to cleanse my soul of any sins I have committed. So when you talk about religion, and particularly the religion that me and Miss Valiant preach, there are it is a major component of everyday life. Religion is, and whoever tells you it isn't, they are crazy out of their rabbit skull. And I'm going to leave it like that. Do you have anything to add, Ms. Valiant?
To your statement, or
In
before
general.
I start mine?
In general.
Okay, I disagree with some stuff you just said, but especially that last part. A lot of people do look to the Bible for wisdom, but in times of need, you should always pray.
Yes.
God wants to hear from you. Even though he already knows what you want, he still wants to hear you ask for it. And as for the people who think otherwise, as a Christian, we have to preach the gospel when it's needed. Because if you just, like in a previous episode, we mentioned some people don't want to hear it and some people don't believe.
Yeah.
And that's okay. God didn't want slaves. He didn't want robotic people obeying his every command. He wanted humanity to have a choice. And us Christians, Catholics, and judicials,
Judaism.
Judaism, well, that's, that's the, people.
Jewish people. Jewish people.
We have a choice to make. And whether we follow him or not, that's up to us. But we have our entire life. Every day we wake up is a second chance. Remember that. So, now's my turn to experience my findings with Jesus Christ. Just like William, I was introduced to Christianity at a young, very young age. I didn't understand it at a young age. I didn't think there was someone watching over us from far beyond time and space. But as I got older, when sixth grade started, not sixth grade, first grade started, at age 6, I started feeling things a 6-year-old shouldn't feel. Depression, severe depression that I wanted to die. I didn't feel like I belonged on this planet. I felt empty. Nothing. I felt awful. So I did things I did that to inflict pain on others. And because people were inflicting pain on me, I felt the need to do worse than what they did to me. And I did. When someone pushed me, I threw a desk at them and hurt them, to try to hurt them. Someone told a lie on me, I told the biggest lie in the world to get them even more trouble. And this was during school, not to mention with the crap I was doing in my own household. And I started to gain weight. I used food as a way to fill the hole in my chest. Even if I wasn't hungry, I always was hungry for something. So I kept eating things that didn't belong to me. I was so desperate to fill that void. I ate out of the trash. I ate so much because I hated myself. And I figured I'm unlovable, so why would anyone like me? So I kept eating, and I was almost 300. I was 300 pounds by the time I hit third grade. I was fat, and I knew I was fat. I couldn't run very fast. My clothes kept stopped not fitting me properly. But I was strong. But weirdly enough, I was strong. I could lift up my big brother and throw him against the wall and put a dent in it too. I was strong, but I wasn't fast. I was always huffing and puffing, right? Which led to asthma, and my weight was a problem. And I knew that and I hated going to the doctor because I knew what the weight would say. Fat. So I just kept eating. It got so bad that my father put a lock on the refrigerator. And then I was so desperate, I couldn't get into the freezer or refrigerator, so I ate food that was spoiled. Didn't get sick from it, weirdly. But I ate like I was starving. But I was starving for something. I didn't know what it was, so I just kept using food. I ate loaves of bread and water and stuck my hand in a peanut butter jar and ate the thing dry. One time I was so desperate I even ate ketchup. I was fighting at school. I went from a straight A student to a C and D student. I fought with my brother a lot. I fought with my dad a lot. I went from being a daddy's girl to my dad hating me for a while. I almost got him in trouble a few times, claiming that he was abusing me when he wasn't. He was just punishing me for the bad stuff I did. Just wasn't working. And middle school came. I was 350 at that point. I was really fat. I knew I was. I kept hanging out with bad people who kept getting me into trouble. I started spreading rumors. I was the victim of bullying, and then I became one. And a lot of people don't understand that when you've been bullied for so long, you become one yourself because you hate yourself that much that you have to put others down along with you. My first boyfriend was in fifth grade, and I cheated on him several times. I started blossoming in other ways. I had my first kiss at 13 and had a full-on makeout session with him and almost went further than that. Almost. My parents didn't know, and they will know. They'll know now since they watch my channel. They'll definitely know now. I almost took it to the next level, but something told me no. At 13, but I knew he wasn't gonna last by like 2 seconds. So he got his feel that he wanted from me. Then I went back to my boyfriend, and he didn't even know that I was cheating on him. But when other girls started started noticing him, I got jealous as hell. I ripped her a new one. I went after her. I made sure she was miserable and spread rumors about her, made her feel like crap, made her feel like I felt. I was vicious to her. I wanted her to feel pain. My first hospital visit was in the 6th grade. No, it wasn't. I was 6 years old when I went to my first hospital visit. But by the 6th grade, I had my third and fourth hospital visit, all at Shepherd Hospital. I was in and out of that hospital like it was summer home. I completed 5th grade. Then 7th grade came and I effed up my entire family. I told everyone that my brother did something bad to me. Keep in mind that I was 7th grade and I had left school to go to University of Maryland Hospital, where they kept me for a long time. I brought in the new year with them. I had left 2 weeks before Christmas, and then 2 weeks later, I was back there. That's when Frozen was such a big thing. Frozen Fever came out. The little Frozen short was coming out. Um, I had turned my brother from my biggest cheerleader to my biggest enemy. I hated him so much for that. I lied a lot. And I got put into a mental facility. A lot of my family members I felt alone. I completely destroyed myself and my family. And I didn't care. I didn't care. I felt as if I was free. I felt that I didn't need them anymore and they didn't need me. So why should they care? I felt invincible. I could say what I want. I could eat what I want. I could do what I want with no regards of others but myself. I hated myself anyway, so what was the point? Apparently I ruined my brother's life. When in return, he ruined mine. I got tired of being blackmailed by him, so I did something to him. So I did something really evil. I wanted him to feel pain too, and now I got my wish. And I was evil. I know that now. I was evil. I was so evil. I was so mean. I was a terrible I was a terrible person. It got so bad that I told my father, I don't care if you die. Go ahead. And that, me and my father's relationship was just in lava, burnt to nothingness. My relationship with my dad went supernova. I made my mom lose herself. I lied to her and I lied on my brother to make myself feel better because I hated myself that much. I didn't care if I didn't care about her feelings. I didn't consider my mother's feelings at all. And I told her I loved her, and no, I didn't. No, I didn't. You don't do that to someone you love. You don't break up your entire household because you're pissed off at something, that you hate yourself that much that you have to ruin everybody else's life. You don't do that to someone you love. And I made my mom lose herself. She couldn't keep up, so she locked herself away. It could only deal what she could deal with. Eventually, I got tired of being the black sheep because I had made myself one. If only I had talked to my mother sooner, I didn't think she would understand. That's why I didn't talk to her in the first place. And then I realized something. I don't know what made me realize what I was doing was wrong. Maybe it was the fact that all of my family members were looking at me like a monster, because that's what I was. I was a demon-filled monster. I was doing something a person with that was possessed would do. Because I felt nothing. I was empty. And that demon inside me was feeding off of what I was doing, filling my thoughts. I could hear voices that no one else could hear. I was talking to people that didn't exist. The place that I had to was a Catholic place. It was Catholic. And we had chapel one morning, and he played a song by Matt Fisher. I think that's what his name is. It's called "Lord, I Need You." And when the priest played that song, I felt God. I felt Jesus say, "It's okay. I forgive you, but you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. Your mom and dad love you. They're just angry. Your brother loves you. He's just angry, and he's going to be your biggest obstacle. But you have to start with yourself first." And I was feeling him, because I had questions in my heart that God wasn't real. I was in a witchcraft. I liked that stuff. God, I was broken. I was broken. I was so broken. I was so broken. And I stopped. I cried. I cried so much that day, asking God to please forgive me and help me. And every day it just got easier to love myself. I started losing weight. I started helping other people in that place who were beyond crazier than I was. I was starting to feel better. But I still had a long way to go. So I started with my mom. I apologized to her. And I told her I'm sorry. I'm sorry for putting you through this. I'm sorry for treating you like you weren't a person. I'm sorry for making you feel like it was your fault. I'm sorry for making you having to choose between your daughter and son because no mother should have to make that choice. Then my mother forgave me. And she told me how much she loved me. And I want a new relationship with her. But my dad wasn't convinced. It took a lot longer to convince him that I was sorry. And eventually we got better, gradually over time. I convinced him. I finally convinced him that I was getting better, that I was trying my best. So when I did middle school the second time, I had to repeat the 8th grade because I let my behavior get in the way of graduating 8th grade the first time. Repeated the 8th grade and graduated. And our relationship started to look a lot better. God told me that my brother was going to be my biggest obstacle. He was the end game because I had hurt him the most. But as me and my father got closer, everything, my behavior, my outlook on life changed. There were a lot of challenges between that facility and being home because that place was going to send me to a foster home. And I was never going to see my parents or my family again. That's how bad I got. So I thank my grandmother for not giving up on me, for not abandoning me when she could have. Anyway, ever since then, I've been living with my grandmother. But me and my father's relationship got even better. I got in high school. I had some troubles first, second year of high school. I started to revert back to some of the old stupid stuff I used to do. But I stopped myself and was like, you've come too far to start doing this again. And I made some friends. Finally had friends that were actually friends. Until they weren't. We'll get to that in a second. And then 11th grade happened. And coronavirus happened. I lost some friends along the way because they showed me their true colors. They were acting like me, and I couldn't let them take me back to that place. And I met a handsome boy who I thought was going to be there forever. But his mom was a psycho, so that didn't work out too well. Happy 18th birthday to me. So then, after I graduated, I went to prom and full time. I got into college that same year. And I was happy that my life was moving forward, but something struck me like, what about me and my brother's relationship? 8 years have gone since everything has happened. And he's talking to me in threads, but that's all I'm getting. Happy birthday or congrats. That's basically what I'm going to get for a little while. And I understand that. He's not ready. He's not ready, and that's okay. I can wait. I have to focus on me. I can't focus on my brother. Despite the dirty crap I did with him, to him, what I did with him, yeah, I'd be pissed too. Still be upset. I forgave him for what he did to me. It's his turn to forgive me for what I did to him. And I can wait another 8 years if he needs it. After all, I am the reason why he had to go to sex therapy. So I met another boy along the way. This turned my world upside down. Never thought I'd be with a white boy, but here we are. And I'm happy with that. He's my new goal. He's my new endgame. My brother is the long wait, the long winter before Aslan will bring spring. He's the long winter. Lemonade of Narnia. Mr. Fan is my endgame now. And I'm hoping, if not in a year, maybe in a year or two, we'll be husband and wife. Because that's what I want. I can't focus on the past anymore. My brother, I don't know if he'll ever watch our videos, but if he does watch, I'm sorry, okay? And I hope we'll have a conversation about that. But my journey from 6 years old to 20 years old in 2 weeks, I felt Jesus. And I know he's real. I feel him every day I wake up. And I'm so happy. I feel him every time I smile. Every time I sing, every time I dance, every time I make believe, every time. I know he's real and I know he's there and I can feel him in my heart, in my mind, my soul. So the people who say that Jesus is real, you have to find him inside yourself before you find him in the real world. Because let me tell you, knowing God, knowing Jesus is wonderful. I'm so happy. I haven't felt this happy since I was 4 years old. And every day I wake up with a smile on my face. And I can look in the mirror and look attractive. I may still be heavy, but I look attractive. And I know I don't need anyone telling me. Because I love my life now. And I want to help others see that too, that life is wonderful. You don't have to put others down or feel angry. Thank you for listening to our stories today.
Miss Valiant, before we go off, there was another moment, and I don't want to end this on a dark note, but I'm January 16th, 2020 is the day I'll never forget. I'm going into work. Just another day at the office.
Excuse me 1 minute. fix myself real quick. Keep talking though.
My second boss.
Boy.
Okay, we're driving out of a Walmart parking lot onto a busy stretch of highway. Someone brakes right in front of us. Had my mother not had the quick judgment, we would have plowed right into the back of them. And somebody had pulled out in front of us. I get home. My mother asked me, "Where are you going?" I said, "Mama, I just want to be alone." Now I want people to imagine you're 18, 19 years old,
No, I know. I was making sure as far getting rid of the tear streaks first.
and you've known this woman. Every morning she comes in. I get down here. I had no lights on, and I started to cry. I started to cry like a baby. I go in and I started reading the Bible. And the Bible told me, remember, reminisce, but move on. I go in that Friday morning. It's eerie, quiet. And it's never been the same since then. When I was going down my path to suicide, which it's been well documented if you watch the suicide episode. I never thought I would hit rock bottom. Had it not been for my nieces, it was also the Bible that helped me through. When you are in times of need, when you feel like you have no hope and no salvation, when you are contemplating your life choices and the rights and the wrongs, the the do's and the don'ts, and the people you should hang with and the people you shouldn't. You always, if your parents can't answer, you always confide in the Bible. You always confide with the Word of God and the Word of wisdom. And it may not be the best choice, but it's many times, and I've told Miss Valiant off camera, when I've gone down a road that I dug a grave for myself and I was ready to put myself in it. I went to the book, and I've said horrible things to people. I've done horrible. Well, not really done, but I've said things that I'm not proud of. But I knew God told me, William, repent it now or it will haunt you forever. And you know what? He's right. You enjoy life if you're living. If you ain't living, you're not enjoying life. When I was at my lowest point, all I saw was pain, death, unhappiness. Thoughts that a person of 18, 19 should never really be thinking, but I was thinking it. To leave it on this is, if you have been in our situations, if you feel like you've gone down a road that you can't go back from, or you the best thing you can do outside of asking for help, and Miss Valley, tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong, is you go to church. You
I would say mostly, I wouldn't say go to a church because sometimes they're in the middle of their own worship and sometimes it's not the best time to go. But other times when they are worshiping or during the altar call, I think you should go and get your life right and get saved and stuff. But if you are new to the whole religion thing, if you used to be an atheist, you need to confess with your mouth and with your heart
yeah,
that Jesus died on the cross for your sins.
yes,
You need to believe it in here and you need to say it out loud because let me tell you something. What I just told you about my experience, I went from being a hell child to a decent human being. I'm not gonna say a good, completely good job because I ain't all that good either. I have my moments where I slip up, but we're human. But let me tell you something. I delivered, God delivered me out of my own pain, out of my own suffering. Because without Him, I'd be in foster care getting all kinds of bad stuff happening to me. And let's just say I could be a mom right now and not from my foster family, from my foster father. So the little girls that look like me are very hard to find in the ditch, dead somewhere. Very hard to find. We have we're gonna have another racist episode part two where people of color are more likely to be found dead than white kids. We're gonna have another episode on that later. But this was very personal to me and Mr. And our question to you is, do you believe? If you don't, it's okay. If you
if
do, what's your story? Because ours is dealing with suicide and dealing with self doubt and self hate and self joy and sabotage. What I did is, I want my family to point out that I'm a master manipulator. That's exactly what the hell I was doing. I was making sure everyone felt my pain. But also, some people were doing some bad stuff to me. When my brother hurt me, I wanted him to hurt 10 times worse. I hated him for a while, just like he hates me, and he's gonna hate me for a while too, because I put him through hell. But he's getting better, I hear. He's not, every time he hears my name, he's not getting angry. He's more of a when a high school type attitude, like whenever you hear that girl's name you don't like, you roll your eyes like,
It,
so it's like that. So we're getting somewhere, but I know it's gonna be another decade before we actually have a decent conversation. And I'm prepared for that. All I know is I have to focus on my life. I can't keep wanting to, what's he up to? Can he talk to me? I can't do that. I can't wait for him. I can't wait for him, and he can't wait for me. I know that there will be sun at the end of the day. And both of our stories can tell you that maybe there is someone looking after us. Maybe there is a place where bad souls go and good souls go, even the in-between souls. But you have to remember, you have to believe with your heart and your mouth. You have to confess your sins, not just say, Lord, and you're saved. That's not how that works. So thank you for listening to our stories. I'm glad I look decent now because I just ruined my makeup about 2 minutes ago.
if you're wondering what our production schedule is going to look like for next week, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Van is not feeling.
mm,
He is not feeling good.
Mr. Fan will not be any will not be any will not be in any episodes this week. This will be the last episode he's in for this week because he needs to rest and there are other emergencies happening with his life.
Yes.
I will be in charge of the videos, of posting them and editing them. And the next videos that will be out will be mini-sodes. That'll be just me, and I'm going to make them try to make them 20 minutes. If not, they'll be more like 30, 38 minutes. But this has been the religious episode. So
Of the controversial table.
table. So this week we'll either be resting or you'll just see my gorgeous face. So if any of you repeat that I want to marry Mr. Fan in 2 years, you heard nothing.
And if don't be alarmed, my
If it
beautiful
happens, it happens.
don't don't worry, my beautiful children. Mr. Fan will be back. Mr.
Yeah, I didn't
Fan,
kill him. So if anyone suspects that I killed him, I did not kill
he
him.
she did nothing of the sort. A little thing called the
We're
coronavirus.
calling it the cough cough, so we don't get flagged by YouTube. We're gonna
Oh,
call it the cough cough. The cough cough got to Mr. Fan's household, and the cough cough will be there for a minute because the cough cough don't care about nobody's upload schedule and streaming schedule or work schedule or
yeah.
paycheck. So cough
I
cough.
the cough has. But before we signed off, because we do appreciate the comments people give us. Um, uh,
Top comment goes to Miss Kimberly Bar Green,
yeah,
also known as my
we
mother. Top comment goes to her, so kudos.
yeah,
Also, stay tuned. Like I said, in a series, there will be a short on the channel, and it's called Spot It. We're gonna call it Spot It.
Yeah.
and count it. The person who
And count it. Spot it and count it.
person who spots Mr. Fan's weird face changes throughout the video that we watch some because when we watch these videos back, Mr. Fan makes some weird poses and faces. So you're gonna count how many are there, and if you're correct, you get to be in an episode with us of your choice, of your topic of choice.
Yeah.
And there's also a thing called spotted. So you're gonna spot how many times I've changed my filter on the videos. It could be twice, it could be a lot. So make sure you're paying
And
attention
the
because they can change.
and the winner of that gets what, Miss Valiant?
It's the same prize. The winner that gets to be on the channel and have an episode to themselves where we just sit and listen. Or
We
talk.
so we if you've been following me and Mrs. Valiant very closely on social media, or if you've been friends while we've been off camera, um, you know that I do a lot of game streaming. As you've mentioned, I have a streaming schedule.
Yes.
And
Mr. Fan will try to we'll try to start streaming every Friday, so stay tuned for a Twitch streaming. If you don't know what Twitch is, it is a streaming gamer app where a lot of streamers and gamers stream different branches of games, from kids games to decision-based games to shooting games, which I
yeah,
kind of love with. But this is
we
they do donations, they do charity streams, they interact with you guys. So get Twitch and subscribe to what's your channel name?
it will be the Graceful Quiver number 5_5.
We're gonna work on that because that's
It's PlayStation name.
it's a tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister.
So
And ladies and gentlemen,
for now, that's what it is. We'll talk about. He'll discuss when he'll change that on his own time. So
yeah, I would love to change it, but PlayStation is acting goofy, and
like I said, he will discuss that on his own channel.
But Miss Valiant,
random things.
For anybody who watches the game stream, Miss Valiant is a very funny, maybe a little too funny, with her comments, and
sometimes I make up stuff to get him distracted. So some of the stuff I say in the chat is not actually happening. I'm just.
I mean, but then there's some. Then there's
on my bed just doing it just to distract him.
And then there's sometimes she actually does it.
I'm in the process of doing it. So.
And in the process of doing it, and when I started, because I had a previous Twitch account, which unfortunately it is no longer in service. But if you were nice enough to watch it, it was called Play Later. PlayLatr and the number 3. I know it sounds like a 12-year-old gamer name, but I swear it is not.
Subscribe to his new Twitch channel so I don't have to be the only one watching his streams, because sometimes, not trying to throw you some shade or some hate, Mr. Fan, but a little boring. So please subscribe to give me more things to talk about.
Yeah,
I don't have to carry this channel as well.
Again, before we leave, because this is going to be...
So,
before Miss Valiant came with me with this idea, I had a podcast, and for people who had watched the podcast,
it's currently being deleted.
And it's people who wonder, like, we've talked about very briefly on the channel about what made me do this, and I've talked to Ms. Valiant off camera and on camera about the upload schedule I had, which was bonkers as it is at the time. And When
Well, Mr. Fan, we'll
we'll
make
go into detail about
we'll
that for another day.
yeah, we'll make another channel that's off of this, and we'll call it Mr. Fan and Miss Valiant's Random Chats.
Yeah,
And uh, we won't have any theme to them. It's just us
chit chatting.
chit-chatting. And we'll probably make it a live video thing so you can discuss it in the live. But we'll sort of the details. As of right now, is this channel will I'll make that second channel as Mr. Fan with his other one, so that way he can manage that one.
Yeah,
Um,
and on top of that, for people who want it, obviously, if you know my IG, I still do somewhat, not as much anymore, IG lives, but occasionally, for you, the audience, you may see Miss Valiant pop in once in a while.
when she's not doing schoolwork, when she's supposed to be doing schoolwork. Um, so, um,
That's just for a little tease
but
behind the scenes.
also another update. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna make another channel, and it's gonna be called that. And I'm gonna make I'm gonna start making more IG lives to
Yes.
promote the channel. But I don't like doing IG lives because it sucks booty. Sucks
Yeah,
booty.
it's
So
as someone who's been copyrighted off of IG numerous times. I recommend
some
IG.
booty. They're worse than YouTube with the copyright stuff. At least they tell you before you upload it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I got some stories for the YouTube, but we'll say that for another time.
and as for YouTube, Mr. Fan, here's an idea to shout out to you. You can go live on your own channel.
Oh, I can?
Yes, you have YouTube, do you not?
Yeah.
So you can go live on your own channel.
All right.
So that way you don't have to use IG Live all of that while. You can use IG Live as a small snippet of what you can you can make a segment on your IG Live that says what happened in Will's day that made him mad, or
Yeah, that's
what
what I
ticked
normally
off Will today.
That's what I normally do.
What ticked off Will today?
Yeah, I mean it's the running gag with IG Live, ladies and gentlemen, is it's more like think of it as a comedy mixing with a drama, a comedic drama. Think of it that way. As Miss Valiant looks very confused.
I'm just having some flashback moments right now. It's fine.
Anyway, like, comment, subscribe.
We just do but girls, we do something like. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so keep a lookout. So those two things will be happening, like the weird filters, like this will randomly happen, or
Oh, that one.
that will happen. What in the world is this?
Oh, so stay tuned.
And also, we'll have a third thing what time period did this thing appear? That what did you call the dog, Mr. Fan? What you call the dog? Called a Skeeter.
Skeeter.
Called it Skeeter. Hey, Skeeter.
What's up, Skeeter? If anybody in the comment section, if you get
the counter,
yeah,
because I'll make sure he'll appear at the most random times when we can talk about something serious. He could pop up. So make sure
we're gonna end this with a funny /
So timestamp. When did he pop up? Okay, that's hilarious. Skeeter.
So, Ms. Valiant, before we signed off, there's a conversation we had Friday, after hours, after recording time, about a boy, right?
About a what?
About a boy with a certain medical condition.
I need to go pray.
Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I ain't gonna.
I gotta pray because you brought up Snuffleupagus. So,
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe.
there's a hair in my cup. I don't know where that came from.
Brush your hair.
Mr. Fan, don't get your butt smacked on camera.
Okay. Okay. Stay in school. Don't do drugs, kids. Stay
and
cool.
praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. And
This is your granddaddy.